So if we switch over to Virtual Machine Manager, you can see that I've got a job running here. Well, it already completed for me, and it created a new cloud and created a new user role for me. So you can see that now I've got a third cloud here, which is called my Wookie cloud, and you can see here the capacity limitations I handed out. Um, and also you can see here the user roles and who is able to manage that system. So you can see here the group I just defined. So if I switch back to Service Manager and now putting my head as the cloud consumer, or actually the one who can log in into the portal, I can see first of all that I've got a confirmation that the customer onboarding process has completed. So this will give me a nice confirmation, and it will confirm to me what kind of cloud for which customer and what cloud name has been used. So also the identity has been created, and if we look at the Active Directory users and computers and I hit F5 for refresh here, you can see that a new user has been created. And I'm leveraging the orchestrated database to fill in some metadata, so I can use this credential identity to log on to the portal, because I also got here a link to log on. So if I hit this link, I can directly now with my brand new identity log in to the App Controller portal. So let me specify my name here. So now I'm able to log in into App Control, and I could do two things here. I could continue from here into the App Controller portal and consume the cloud resources which have been assigned to me. Or I could go ahead and depending on, and this may vary within several customers, I could go ahead and request resources from the Service Manager self-service portal. So it depends on the scenario, but I can see multiple applications or multiple scenarios being used for this scenario. So we are going to log in the App Controller portal here. And as you can see, if I click on cloud, it will give me my Wookie cloud. It will show the Wookie cloud. I currently don't have any service deployed yet. I don't have any virtual machine deployed yet, but I do have access to the library. So I've granted access for a number of templates here, and I could either leverage a template service here, so I could click on this template and I could actually hit deploy, and from here I could deploy my new service. But I wanted to show you the other scenario as well, and that is that we're going to return to the self-service portal. But before we are going to do that, I wanted to emphasize one last step here. And that is, I've just created a PowerShell. I've executed a PowerShell command for creating that role. But you see a bunch of PowerShell. Eventually, in the eventual release of Orchestrator, we will have the integration pack for Virtual Machine Manager 2012. So you don't have to leverage PowerShell to do that. But this is an interesting step, because I would like to leverage and deployment of a new service instance to the self-service portal of Service Manager targeted to my new cloud. But since I'm relying on a connector to synchronize my new cloud into the CMDB, that could take a while. So that's why I've included a step to manually force the synchronization of the connector to bring that over. So let's take a look if and let me cancel this out because this has been completed. So let's take a look whether the synchronization has taken place as expected. So it's almost 9:25 here. So this has been synchronized at 1920, so that just occurred, and also the Ops Manager connector just synchronized. So let's take a look at the configuration items, and you can see that the synchronization completed and brought my Wookie Cloud into the CMDB. So now I should be able to leverage this from the self-service portal. Additionally, the integration is in that way that also Operations Manager has synchronized the Virtual Machine Manager component. So let's take a look at Operations Manager. And if I hit on Cloud here, I should be seeing my Wookie Cloud as well. If I hit refresh, okay, here it is. Here's my new Wookie Cloud, and you can see all the metadata coming in as well as the capacity over here. So the next step is I'm gonna switch my head again. Now I'm going to act as an end user, or at least the consumer of a service, and now I'm going to request a new service to be deployed. So let's switch to Service Manager, and let me close this down for a second. And now I'm going back to my portal, and what I would like to do now is deploy a new service. So I can do a bunch of things here, but now I would like to deploy a new service. So it brings me to the deploy a new service service request form with a bunch of articles to help me out, but let's go directly to the request. And now it is asking me, based on the CMDB query again, which service template would you like to deploy? Because I can limit what the user can see and what the user can request based on the permissions. Now I'm gonna leverage my NCC service here, which consists of one single tier, and I'm going to select which cloud to deploy the service to. Of course, I would like to leverage my Wookie Cloud, so click on the Wookie Cloud there. And now it is asking me, what is the service name you would like to provide? Well, of course, this is going to be the Wookie service. And the description is my first Wookie service. I can provide a name, so this is not directly necessary out of a VMM service template perspective, but I wanted to demonstrate the flexibility here. So I'm gonna call this the Wookie VM01 and hit on next here. Cost center is fine, and now it is asking me which user role would you like to enable to manage this service. Well, previously I've used the Wookie user, so let me use that again. I'm gonna click on next, and this looks pretty much what I wanted to have. So I'm gonna click on submit. So this time for the sake of time, I did not configure an approval cycle for this. So this will directly be kicked off. So let's take a look at the work items. And now I've got a brand new deploy a new server work item here. So let's take a look at it. Let's open it up, and you will see that I've got just one activity, and that is to deploy a new service. So I can click on this just to show you the runbook, and I can dive into the workflow progress here. So I'm gonna take a look at the jobs. Just created a new job for me. That's good. So I'm gonna look at the instance details, and now you can see here that a second runbook has been initiated, has been triggered. So first of all, it is collecting some relationships because I selected in the self-service portal a service template. So I need to figure out which service template that exactly is, so that I can target that on the virtual machine manager side. So it is now has retrieved that relationship, that service template relationship, but since I need to land that service on a cloud, it needs to retrieve that relationship for that cloud as well, which it just did. So with these two information types, so the template and the cloud, I can go ahead and deploy my new service. So this is being triggered right now. So let's take a look at Virtual Machine Manager, because if it all went well, I've got a new job here, and here we go. It already started with the placement of a service being triggered. So it's finding out where to place my my new service. That has completed, and that will continue with the service create instance part. So let me resize the window here a bit. So now we have come to an interesting piece here, and that is it is deploying my VM template VHD based on bits, and this is now handled, or this is going to be handled by my two poor laptops here. Well, poor in the sense of it isn't high available storage. So this will take a number of minutes. So I'm not going to let you watch this deployment. So we're going to pause the deployment a second. But before I do that, I wanted to point you out that it is possible to do a rapid provisioning, which I based on differencing disks, which I not utilizing now because of the targeting to a cloud. If I wanted to target that to a host, then I could leverage a rapid disk provisioning. And for that I wrote a PowerShell script where I can leverage a differencing disk based on a disk already present on the host. So these are actually the steps I've used in my runbook, besides without the hard-coded sections in here. But the interesting piece is this section where I can create a differencing disk on the host where the VHD is already present, and from there on I could utilize that piece, and that will enable me to have a deployment within a couple of minutes, instead of first waiting like 10-11 minutes for the bits deployed to complete. So I'm gonna pause the recording for a couple of minutes, so we are going to come back when the deployment has completed, so that we can watch the rest of the service instance configuration.